Good morning, year four. I hope you've had a fantastic weekend. I hope you are ready to do some more superb maths this week. You can see on the mental maths challenge today that there are some green challenges for those of you who have been doing the Sapphire challenge. However, the rest of you will find this useful in terms of completing the rest of the challenges. I'd like you to stop the video now and have a go at the challenges, please. Okay, welcome back year four. I've just revealed the answers to you, and hopefully you can see the connection between what the Sapphire group did and the rest of you. And in fact the objective for this week is adding, subtracting hundreds from 3-digit numbers. And if I'm going to be adding 900 and 800, then I can use my knowledge of adding 9 and 8 to be able to help me solve that. Various strategies for solving 9 at 8. I could double 9, which gives me 18. Then I could take one off. I could double 8, which gives me 16. And then I could add one on. I could even do 10 add 8, which gives me 18, and subtract 1. Whichever strategy I use, once I know 9 add 8 is 17, I can apply that to 9 lots of 100. Add 8 lots of 100 is obviously then 17 lots of 100, or 1,700. If I've got a number like 455, I could still use 4 add 5 equals 9, because I'm thinking about the fact that I've got 400s and I've got 500s, and this is going to give me 900s. Okay, because I've just got zeros here, this is still going to stay as 55. So once you've marked your answers, please move on to the input for today. Now, for all of us today, we're going to be solving problems involving subtraction, and some of us are going to need to use addition as well. That's why I've written that part in blue. So how are we going to be successful? Well, most importantly, we need to be able to solve the problem. We are going to use the bar model to help us unpick the problem and show our thinking. And certainly all of us are going to need to do some subtracting today. And it might well involve the exchanging that we've been practicing. Some of us will also need to use our written method for addition. Now, the first problem here today is for the Sapphire challenge, but this grid will be used by all of you. The way you approach the problem will be the same for all of you. And I'd like the bronze, silver, gold to try and complete this mentally in their heads while still just listening to how to use this grid as a reminder. So a shop has 27 magazines. 16 are sold during the day. How many magazines are left? Now, lots of us know what to do with this problem, are able to work it out quickly in our heads, but using a grid like this just makes it very clear for us what exactly it is we need to do to get to the answer. And when some of you go on to more challenging problems, a grid like this will still be very useful. So first of all, we always think about, what do we know? Well, we know that there are 27 magazines in the shop and 16 have been sold. How do I show that in a bar model? Well, my total is 27. 16 have been sold. So this bar here is going to be telling me how many are left, which is what the question ultimately is asking me. So what is my number sentence I need to do? Well, it's going to be 27 subtract 16. I know that the Sapphire group, you've been using number lines. Now, rather than just count back in ones, I would like you to try to think about bridging 10. So if I'm doing 27 take away 16, then I could take I guess different ways I could do it. If I was going to bridge through 10, then I would be subtracting 7. And if I know I've taken 7 off here, then I'm left with a further 9 to subtract. Completing it that way really improves your mental skills, and I can see that in total I did subtract 16. So my answer is 11, and I could then put this into my bar and see that 11 add 16 would give me my total of 27. Obviously I use the inverse to check my answer. Sapphire group, I'd like you to now start your challenge. If you're doing the bronze challenge today, you have a very similar problem, but it's 3 digits, subtract 3 digits, and you are going to need to use your written method. I can already see that 7 is greater than 5. I'm going to need an exchange here. Bronze challenge. I would like you to, the group choosing the bronze challenge, start your work now, please. If at any point you need to look at this grid to help you, this is in fact the first question, then you could pause the video and do so. As I said, bronze challenge, start your work now, please. So now, silver and gold, I'm going to read your challenge today, and gold will also go on to do a further challenge. A shop has 8,435 magazines. You might think, hold on, that's a lot for a shop, but we could be talking about a warehouse type of shop. 367 are sold in the morning. Again, this could be online. And 879 are sold in the afternoon. How many magazines are left? Now, definitely, given enough time, I could myself do this potentially in my head, but because of the size of the numbers, it's very easy for an inaccuracy to creep in to my working. It's much more effective to be using a written method. Now, what do we know already then? We know this is the total amount of magazines. We know that this amount was sold in the morning and this amount was sold in the afternoon. So first of all, before I can work out my question, how many are left, I need to work out in total how many were actually sold. So on the bar model, we've got 8,435 as our total. We know that we've sold 367. We know that we've then sold in the afternoon 879. So therefore, I need to know how many were actually sold. I'm going to need to add those two amounts together. This is my number sentence. How do I set about solving that? Is using my written method. Now, if anyone feels frustrated using this grid, thinking, oh, Mr. Sills, I can just write the numbers down. You don't need to use this grid for every single question. I'd like you to use it for the first question, and then you are very welcome to complete questions 2, 3, and 4 just using your written methods. So we're going to be adding those numbers. Now, once they give me an answer, then that gives me the amount that was sold, but it still doesn't tell me how many was left. I'm going to then need to take my answer and I'm going to be needing to subtract that from 8,435. So actually, if I write that as a number sentence, 8,435 subtract, let's call this a question mark as our answer at the moment. So subtract the amount that was sold, and that's going to give me my final answer. Okay, so this here is ultimately what I'm going to then need to be writing into here. Therefore, my three amounts would actually added together give me my total. I would like anyone who is going to be doing the silver challenge to start now. If you are doing the gold challenge today, you will have the same problem as this one, but you also have a second problem. And I will give you a word of warning now that when I've done problems like this previously with children, it surprises me how many people actually get this one wrong. Now, for all of us today, there are answers for the questions, and they are at the very, at the very end of the sheet. So you can definitely check your answers. However, just think about this one and think about what you've got to do. A shop sells 1,787 magazines in the morning. So it's not actually telling us the total for the day now. It's telling us how many in the morning. It then says 858 more are sold in the morning than in the afternoon. So I need to work out how many were actually sold in the afternoon then. Well, this amount more was sold in the morning and the afternoon. This tells me then that my afternoon number is going to be smaller than 1,787. In fact, it's actually going to be 858 less than this number, isn't it? Because if 858 was sold more in the morning than in the afternoon, it's going to be this amount subtract 858. Once I've then, to make it really clear, I could actually just write that here for, obviously at the moment, I'm not actually using the grid. I will come back to that. But this is what we would call step one. I need to find my answer. Step two, how many was sold in total? I apologise there where I've, sorry, just used the pen. A little bit funny. How many were sold in total? Well, I'm going to be taking my amount in the afternoon and I'm going to be adding it to my amount in the morning. Don't forget that was your morning amount. That is then going to tell me how many was sold in total. Now, I have included on your sheet a second grid for you to be able to use this grid to help you unpick the problem. And I'm going to allow you to do that because I think it's a good challenge for you to be able to try and use that. I would recommend trying to do that the first time you approach this question. Obviously, after that, you can then just work using 2 steps showing you're working. All the challenges are on the sheets. There's at least one grid for you to use, as I said, for the start of for the very first problem. Answers are at the end. Hope you enjoyed today's maths. Good luck, year 4.